In this video, I would like to give you a quick overview of how you can link to your Xero data from Excel. Once you've logged on to ClearJelly, in the links area, you will see there's a ClearJelly template. Just download this template and open it in Excel. Once you've opened up the template in Excel, you will see this screen. What is important here, you have to have a Office edition that supports Power Pivot. The way the ClearJelly Excel integration works with this template, there are also other ways, but in this template, it requires Power Pivot. So you need to have an Excel edition that supports Power Pivot. Please refer to the web for the latest information on what versions of Excel support Power Pivot. So if you have Power Pivot on your Excel, that's all you need. You don't need to install anything else. So just Excel should work fine with this template. The only thing you have to do is you have to set up your database here on the first sheet, on the admin sheet, in this input box here. So you type in the database name, which can be found in the ClearJelly console. So here you will see your database name. So for example, if we want to use the database name here, we would need to replace the testco 99 with Manageability. And that's really all it takes. So now you can just go to data and click on refresh all, and this will refresh your database and will give you your information on the reports. So let's have a quick look at the reports. So we have a cover sheet here. That's really only the cover for the following report. So there's not much to do here. The next one is the profit and loss, which is a simple profit and loss statement, just using the Xero account type or class. And you can see this when the field list, so this is a pivot table, and when the field list for the pivot table is turned on, if you just go to the pivot table ribbon, you can see what fields from Xero are used in this report. And as we see here, we have a report that shows the account class by the account name, the combination of month and year. So in this case, it shows the year and the month, and then a few filters at the top, which are the organization name. So here you can switch to the organization that you want to use. So if you only have one Xero entity, then you will only have one item here. If you have multi Xero entities, you will have all your Xero entities here. So you can either look at the consolidated view with all, or you can look at the specific company by just selecting the particular company. And like this, you can of course change all the other filters. You can filter things here. When you say, for example, I would like to just see the revenue accounts, we can just tick this off, and now we can just see the revenues. We could do the same thing for the columns, so we say we just want to see, select something, the first few months of 2017 where we have data. So we now see the first 3 months have data, and that's why we get this here. So what's quite important, if you really want to show everything, you can turn the Xero suppression in the pivot table off. So if you go to options, display, and then you see show items with no data on rows and columns, if you turn them on, then you will see your entire filter selection. And so this was the P&L, and obviously this can now be changed as you require. So if you would like to see now, as opposed to showing this just the revenue here, you can drag now a field directly from the filter that you're using in the filter and show now the different revenues by different companies. Again, obviously we can filter. So if you just want to see Europe and US, we just tick those. Now we just have those two areas, but you can also use any other field that you have in your Xero database. So for example, if you want to use, so we're using class here, if you want to have now the type, let's put it in between class and name, we see now we get a bit more detail. We get now the breakdown into revenue and other income. And yeah, like this, you have total flexibility to create your reports. And if you've set up the database connection correctly, the only thing it takes is refresh here, and the report will automatically refresh. It's not just a report, it's also all the items in the rows and columns. If you have a new account, it will be here, which makes the maintenance of your reports much easier because everything will be always up to the latest state. And you will only need one report. So this report in the end can show nearly any report that's relevant for your organization. So the users can just use this report, and you ensure that they're all working on the same single version of the truth. They just select the filters that they need, and they don't have to use a lot of different Excel copies with the specific number of a particular detail. So because using this approach, you just change the filter and it will query automatically the Xero or the ClearJelly database and give you your Xero data. So we've got the same thing for the balance sheet. So we have here now a pivot table for the balance sheet. What's important here, if you have balances, you need to use the balance field in the report. So if you want to show as opposed to a movement, what we're doing in this one, where we just show the total of the value. Here we need to show the balance. And then we also have a sample here for sales, where the users can very easily choose particular periods in time. So for example, if I want to see January and February, I can just select them up here and I get the relevant details here. And again, we're using here a pivot chart, which shows your products for the line item amount after tax. So you can see now how your products have sold for this particular detail. And then again, you can filter it further. You can say, okay, I would like to see how much did Bayside Cup, Basket Case, Barrett Transport, Bank North. So you just select the ones that you would like to see, and then you can see the results for these clients, or you take the filter away and you see everything. You can also use as a filter here tracking codes if you want to see what's going on in the East. I just pick here on the East and I see my results for the East. In my case here, the tracking code 2 doesn't have any information, so that's empty. And then finally, this is an example of an ad hoc analysis. So to create a new report, just pivot table, drag and drop your data into the report. I will quickly show it to you. So if you want to create, for example, a new sales report, you just go to new pivot table. This is typically already configured. So we now have the pivot table based on the data model that was configured here. So we see now all our data, and here we can now just say, I would like to see for the the value, the amounts for all scenarios. I would like to see you can always also type, I would like to see the account. So for example, the account name and the account name by date, calendar. Then we see all different details here, and then we just say, okay, for example, here I want to see a combination of year and month. Just drag it down here, and I want to filter by organization, and let's take this here as a filter. And this is all it takes, and you've got a live report on your Xero data where everything automatically updates on the one version of the truth, avoiding all the typical Excel hassles. So just a quick overview here. For more information, please, as usual, don't hesitate to contact us.